If you like to go backpacking, I have a lightweight DIY that you might want to consider adding to your gear setup. Before heading out on the Pacific Crest Trail, I made this pot koozie to help insulate my food, save fuel, and make my pot easier to hold without burning myself. To make it even better, it was so easy to make and I only needed to buy 2 pretty inexpensive materials to make it. First thing you'll need is a small roll of double reflective insulation, and the second is reflective foil tape. And then you're also going to need your pot, scissors, and a Sharpie. First, you're going to trace the bottom of the pot on your insulation and cut it out. Note that you want to make sure it's a bit bigger than the pot. This next part is a bit trickier, but you're going to cut out a piece that's as tall as your pot and exactly long enough to wrap around the whole pot. This took a bit of trial and error, but you're going to want to make sure it fits all the way around without being too loose or too tight. Next, grab your foil tape and connect the 2 ends so that it wraps around your pot. At this point, we're also going to tape the base to the body. As you can see here, I used my pot to help hold the shape, and we're going to use enough tape to completely cover both the outside and inside edges. You're also going to cover the whole top edge with small pieces of tape too. If you have a different pot than me, you could also experiment with cutting out holes for the handles, but that didn't seem necessary for my pot. Alright, and now you're actually finished with the body part of our pot. Now we're moving on to the lid, and we're pretty much going to repeat the same process. So start by drawing another circle, but this time bigger than the base of the koozie. As you can see, I started out with a pretty big circle and I slowly cut it down to make it more reasonable. Then cut out a piece that's 1 to 2 inches tall and a little bit longer than the circumference of the base of the koozie. Finally, we're going to repeat the same process for taping all the pieces together. Tape the ends of the long piece together and then take your circle piece and tape it on top of that. And lastly, cover up all the exposed edges with small pieces of tape. So I just tested it out a few times to make sure that the lid fit and that it fit on my pot okay, but that's it, we have a finished pot koozie. So when I'm backpacking, I bring my water to a boil and then I immediately transfer it into the koozie and let it sit for another 10 to 15 minutes until it's fully cooked. So the koozie helps save fuel by trapping in the heat, which also helps my food stay hot for longer. It's also great because once it's time to eat, I can hold the pot in my hand easily without burning myself. So overall, I would say that this is one of the most efficient and useful items in my whole backpacking setup. If you have any questions on this tutorial, feel free to let me know in the comments. Otherwise, thanks for watching!